have an exciting guest today. We have our very own founder of the Gum Network, Sade Dennis, and we are super excited today to bring you her, and so she can explain some of the different dynamics of the Gum Network and how we work the Gum Network and what to expect in the future. So, how you doing today, Sade?
I am doing really well. It's kind of a cool day here in the DMV area, but it's all good. Spring is here, and there's new things coming. Things are blooming, and old chapters are becoming new chapters. So I'm excited. Can't complain.
Absolutely. So, all right, well, we're going to get right into it. So,
Right.
some of the things I want to go into,
Mhm.
like what is a little bit about your background? Because the Gum Network is very interesting. You see different things on it. You have personal development, you have art, music, culture. You have so many dynamics. So, what is a little bit about your background that?
Well, it's amazing. It's funny that you asked that question because I think that life is cumulative, and all the experience that I've had in behind the scenes camera work, in beauty, in image, and even in business, what I have found that God doesn't waste anything. And so what I wanted to do with the Gum Network is put all that together, but not only have a platform for myself, but people who have really interesting content, who really want to get out there and have a message to share. So one day, the Lord was like, you know what, Gum, good urban media, and I put it all together. And this time it wasn't for somebody else; it was for me, so to speak. But when I say me, not just a platform for myself, 'cause I don't want to see myself constantly on screen, but for other people as well who have something to say and something to share.
Wow. Well, I'm going to tell you, when you told me about it, I was super excited about it, honestly. I mean, I thought this was going to be groundbreaking. It's a great chance for a lot of people to get their stories out,
Absolutely.
especially in the urban community. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of talented people out there
Oh my God,
that need
big time.
voices, and I believed in this vision of yours. And so I'm super excited to be a part of it.
Wow.
So for you guys too as well. There's going to be great information, a lot of spectacular things to come in the future at the Gum Network. So, yeah, let's move right along here.
Absolutely.
So, one of the things I was thinking about, like, what are some of your inspirations? Like, what inspired you?
Oh man, first of all, I love to create, and so whether or not it's a paintbrush, a flat iron, a makeup brush, or video, I love putting things together. Like it's like a palette. And so when I think about content and having something to share, video on demand and TV is one of the best ways to do that. So for me, I'm very visual and I'm very kind of tactile, putting my hands on things. And so creating content was the best way that I could really express myself. Because video, art, all of that is a form of expression. And so with the Gum Network, I was able to really tell a story in a way that I felt was integral, that had color and had dynamic to it as well. So, I said to myself, why not? And then I looked to other people like Issa Rae or Ava DuVernay or even Oprah, and how they put together these major platforms for people of color, but also people in general who have a really rich and unique story to share that perhaps, unlike before, didn't have an opportunity. I mean, even like Tyler Perry, when you think about what he's doing, he has changed the game and flipped Hollywood on its head because why? He had stories to share. And you look at the whole entrepreneurial aspect of it as well, not having to kind of go to these usual gatekeepers, but to put the content out.
Right.
This is one thing, and I hate to have this example, that I can learn from 45, I'll call him 45. One thing that he did was he went directly to the people. Now, it didn't hurt that Russia was helping him, but we won't even go there. But just the idea that he went directly to the people with using social media. And so what the Gum Network does, it bypasses a lot of those traditional gatekeepers and says, listen, we have content we want to share, and we're going to bring it directly to the people.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about it is, like, I was sharing it with some of my clients, and they were like, man, it's so, it's rich and it's deep and it's so interesting that you have, it's so diverse as far as with the content, you know what I mean? And it kind of takes them into another world that you don't see all the time, especially right now, in the current climate, So people, from what I'm seeing, people are super excited about it.
Wow.
And, they really want to see more. They want more. And I think that what you have done, you inspire other people to want to create too.
Wow.
And be,
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. In a positive aspect.
Absolutely.
Right, absolutely.
Because we have lots of platforms where you have to do ridiculous things to get seen, Then you have some platforms where you have to kind of be a celebrity, so to speak. But with the Gum Network, I think that we all have something special to share, and you don't have to have this so-called big celebrity name with all these millions of followers. But if you have a good message, to me, that's what's interesting. That people can kind of see themselves on the screen, like they can imagine, wow, wait a minute, if I have an idea, perhaps maybe I could be on the Gum Network, and they can.
Wow.
That's what's really, really exciting. You know, there's lots of really good independent media out there. There really is. But when you think about having, so to speak, everyday people doing amazing and extraordinary things, I think that's what the Gum Network also wants to provide a platform for.
Wow. So and that leads me to the next question. Like, what do you find some of the problems in today's current media and the information that's out there?
Oh my goodness. First of all, I think one of the things that I've noticed probably in the last 20, 30 years, and even before then, is that I feel like an informed audience is a better audience. Now we have the propagation of fake news and like infotainment. Infotainment is fine, but it's kind of hard to tell the difference now.
Right.
And I think some people seek to keep their audience stupid. Let's just be real. But I think with the Gum Network, what I wanted to do is to make sure the audience is informed and give them options. Like, okay, if it's a skit, like it's clearly going to be a skit. If it's news, it'll be news, commentary, and analysis, not just so much opinion. Because an opinion piece, you'll see that. But I think that I want the people who watch the Gum Network to be better as a result of watching it, and not to continue to put us like in our silos. I mean, you have groups and like tribes, so to speak, and I wonder how much of the so-called media that's out there is really helping them. And so I think now, like any time before, is that we have to be more informed, and if it's something that we can grow from and be better from, then I think that's what the Gum Network seeks to do.
You know, and with that being said, it's really one of the things that I noticed as far as with the media information now, they kind of limited with some of the information they're sharing, because it's in a perpetual state of being scared. People are, everything's frantic, so you just think everything is chaos.
Right.
Which we do have a lot of chaos going on out there,
right.
But it's a lot of times manipulated through some of the things that we take in and look at every day, especially for the young children out there. You know, children just think that there's only one way to be, especially with a lot of these reality shows and stuff like that. So I think that what the Gum Network is going to bring, you know, it's a refreshing view of society that a lot of people are not seeing and really want.
Absolutely.
You know?
Because we know it exists. I mean, and our uncles and our aunts and our godfathers and our cousins, etc. You know, you have people that engage in social engineering, and they kind of want people to be scared of each other, and they want us to like not want to relate to each other. And so what the Gum Network does is say, listen, wait a minute, we have more in common, and it's good, fresh content. And like I said, and people can see themselves essentially on the Gum Network, like it's somebody that they can resonate with, that perhaps they may remind themselves of themselves or someone they know.
And that's true. That is definitely true, because you have that aspect of people that, you know, they, like you said, feel isolated sometimes, and they like that they don't have a voice.
Exactly.
You know, especially as artists too. And artists doesn't mean just painting and stuff like that. It's other things that you can do as far as like community service, building, just ideas in and of itself, right?
I mean, I have a friend, and her brother, I guess he would be considered disabled, but what he does is volunteer at his church. He's in every ministry, and that's basically his full-time job, and he helps her with her kids, and you know, but it works out because he is an amazing volunteer. And he has impact, and so he's decided, you know what, you know, he lives with her, and she's very grateful for what he does for her kids, and he volunteers all day long. And I think he may receive some type of help for disability, but the idea is he's very impactful. And she depends on him, and his church depends on him, and he has purpose and he has value, and he feels good about it.
So also, what would you say to compare the Gum Network versus something like the BBCs and stuff like that? How would you compare those two, what you putting together and what you came up with?
That's a really good question. For one, like I said before, this is almost kind of like user generated, because we're going to have shows where people can send us their content, you know, kind of tell us what they were thinking about, maybe give some kind of commentary, and now they're having platform. And so with the Gum Network, it isn't like you're feeling like you're looking up to people that you can never, so to speak, get to their status.
Right.
This is like user generated in a sense,
Wow.
because one of the things that's really amazing about the Gum Network is that there are actually 4 prongs. So one prong is the TV, another prong is community outreach and service. So we have an 8-week course we're doing for the youth, and basically we're going to adopt a couple of schools in the area, kind of as a model, and teach them everything that has to do with communication, behind the scene etiquette, in front of the screen, storytelling, all of that. Then we have our events. We're going to do a kind of like a gala to celebrate achievements in the area. And then, of course, training, because I'm a business person.
Wow.
And so all the different prongs, this is what's different. This is basically like, it's user generated. So it's obviously it's about media. It's also training and development, all those different prongs put together. And people can see themselves. And so the folks who are in the youth camp, if you will, they can actually get to the point where they can be on the camera. You know, folks like to be on their phone, texting, and doing all that.
Absolutely.
Now we're gonna put it to use. We're gonna put it to use now.
Right.
Because, you know, sometimes, you know, my pastor always says that what our burden is, that probably is the area you want to pay attention to. So I see the youth, they're just hanging out near where I shop at, and they're just hanging out. They're skipping school, perhaps they're not motivated, I don't know, but to adopt that school, maybe a few others, and offer them something free of charge. You know, maybe it's kind of small investment so that you can kind of test their engagement and what have you. But now, see, now we're growing. And so I think that if companies have a measure of social entrepreneurship, if you will, then now, so we're creating leaders in the future. And even if they don't want to go into media, now they have some skill sets, speaking in front of the camera,
Right.
being comfortable,
Absolutely.
all of that. So we're excited.
Yeah, you should be. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. So we got Sade Dennis here, the founder of the Gum Network. Here again with our special guest, Sade Dennis, the founder of the Gum Network. So we're going to pick back up. So one of the things I want to ask you, and some of my clients that actually asked me too, they said, where do you guys see the future of the Gum Network? Like, how far do you see this going? Because a lot of clients have been asking that. My good friends too.
That's really an amazing question. And, you know, my plans are obviously for the network to grow and to incorporate more content because we have lots of space to do that, if you will. But also, again, I'd like to see us be more impactful in our communities because, you know, what are we doing all this for? You know, what are we doing all this for if we're not helping people? Like, how many people have we helped in some way? So that's one. I'd like to be able to do more, physically more in the communities. I'd like to host town halls and really be impactful. And really get the word out. I'd like to really create additional brands. I want everybody on the Gump Network, I want their brand to grow. I want them to be household names, if you will. So, from, you know, in my thinking, if the people get plucked by CNN or TLC, I mean, well, you know, amen.
Yeah.
Amen for that. This is a platform. So I'd like to create more stars, if you will. You know, not in the sense of just so you can be like a name, so to speak. I believe everyone has a name.
So you're not opposed to working with other networks?
Oh, not at all. Okay. Not at all. But that's what it's about. I mean, if you look at all the other networks, you'll see people on there all the time, whether it be a guest speaker or talking head or, you know, just in some way collaborating. That's what it's about. I mean, look all the time, whether it be People TV, CNN, BBC, I mean, you name it, they're collaborating in some kind of way. Because it's all about, you know, creating good content, which is a great thing. And also I'd like to work with more brands as well.
Wow.
So yeah, so we
when
really...
you say brands, you mean like...
Well, like the big ones, if you will, too. So if there's a way we can create good content, good commentary for an existing brand that thinks it's a good fit to be able to, you know, to communicate their message to their audience, that's fine as well. So right now, again, we're just really putting and fine-tuning our infrastructure. Now, I say that also say is that, you know, really however the Lord will lead us and lead me into the best way. Because I can say one thing And then, through life, as we've seen,
Right.
with all the things that are going on externally in our politics, etc., it really all depends.
Mm-hmm.
But I want the Gum Network to be
Okay.
a force for improvement and improving the lives of people that watch it, the stakeholders, the folk that are in front of the screen, and even behind the cameras as well.
Wow. So what would you encourage people that's looking to do something and work with you? Like, what would you encourage them to do? Coming towards you, hey man,
Sure.
I got a mixtape coming out. Like, can I just get on? So what would you encourage them to, to do and be focused on content as far as
Sure.
want to be a part of something that's growing as a Gum
I would
Network?
say, first of all, to be sure about what they want to do. And if you don't know, that's okay too. I'm great. Yeah, all over the place. That's all right. I'm just excited. I'm so excited. Just do what I got to do. But I would say for folks to really study and be sure about what they want to do. Because it's nothing worse than to have an opportunity and not be ready. What do they say? Be prepared and opportunity. But what is it? It's preparation meets opportunity meets success.
So many
you know what I mean?
different
Right,
words.
exactly. I may have just created my own rendition of it, but you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? And so I would say that for people to really be studied
Right.
and for people to be sure about what they want to do, that means you can research, and
Absolutely.
also find out what are you good at. It's one thing to be interested or confident, but are you competent? So if you're saying you want to be in front of the camera and do the news, but you have no idea about what's going on, then you may not be competent. You may be confident, but not competent. Okay?
That's true.
So maybe you can just volunteer and to be a part of the set and maybe kind of help out. It really all depends. I mean, if you're a good writer, if you're funny, people say, well, I'm funny. But if you're really not funny, then maybe you shouldn't kind of be on a comedy sketch. Maybe kind of be somewhere else. But really kind of know what you're good at, know what your passion is, and then see how we can kind of have a good fit. Yeah, but honestly though, that passion is something else. I mean, if you are passionate and you're faithful, then we have something for you to do here at the Gum Network.
Wow.
Definitely.
Well, this has been great. One of the things I want to say is, like I said, just being a part of it. I'm looking forward to working with the future young people, older people with great content.
Absolutely.
People that's really want to take their career and their brands to the next level.
Right.
And want to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
And we're a part of it as well.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, because I feel like it's not always about your experiences. Can you do it?
Mm-hmm.
I have practiced in front of thousands in my mirror, in my mind. So I know I am ready for this because I have practiced this for decades with an audience of one, but in my mind, it was millions.
Right.
And so if you are excited and if you practice and if you are sure of yourself, we can use that.
Right. Wow. So how can people contact you? Like, how can they get in contact with the Gum Network?
Wonderful. Well, first of all, visit our website at www.thegumnetwork.com, and there you'll find all different ways of connecting with us. Of course, we're on social media. You can email us. You can leave a comment on the website, and we'll definitely, be able to connect with you that way.
Wow. So this has been great. I'm excited. I'm glad you stopped through. I know you're a busy
Absolutely.
woman and a family lady as well.
Yes,
so-
indeed. Yes, indeed. With 3
Wife,
munchkins, I'm telling
so well, I thank you for coming through today.
Absolutely.
And so we're looking forward to the future and growing the network and doing some pretty cool things.
Well, first of all, thank you. And thank you for your friendship and all the excitement that you bring to it. So I got to give you a pound.
Okay.
Bam. Look, kind of, that wasn't really a pound. I was kind of like, but thank you, seriously.
Right.
And so I'm excited, and the best is yet to come.
Absolutely. So I want to thank y'all. This edition of the E-Signature Lounge sit-down show is brought to you by the Signature University Advanced Academy, where there's no excuses. So please look out for us, thegumnetwork.com, thegumnetwork.com. Please check us out on Roku channel. Thank you.